beautiful people. Good evening. Saturday night in my world. Just got done with meeting with one of my groups. There was 5 lovely ladies just kind of catching up on our schoolwork, for lack of a better terminology. It's been a pretty good day. A lot of work stuff done and a little chilling out. I think we're on our last letter, which makes me a little sad. But there was some good interest, and we are going to continue this as long as I guess quarantine's not the right word, but as long as my working from home is still going on. So, couple interesting words today that I actually looked up to decide, and then I think I kicked them to the curb. I'm actually going to talk about some simple Z words, and I'm like looking at my little list. Where do I want to start? I think I'm going to start with Zoom, in the sense of Zoom meetings and how accessible support groups are in this environment. And I think this is one of the gifts of COVID, because the folks who might have not wanted to try GA online, or, we have our center, there's people that drive from all kinds of distances. So I think that on the other side of this, and even now, different states, different places, we're all in different rules, whatever you want to call it. Whoever's dictating who can go outside and who could travel and who could do what. So it's just a reminder that Zoom is there, and you can find resources on that online with different, I think probably the Gamblers Anonymous site. I haven't done it in a while. I was texted a code, so that's kind of cheating. And I think that all over the world, so it would work with different time zones. So that's the first one, which is really my subtle way of saying stay connected and don't forget your recovery, even if you're at home and can't get to a GA meeting. There's no excuse. Someone had said something about, I can't remember who it was, but the person, I know, it was my girlfriend. Last weekend when I was in Connecticut, she was talking about her ex-husband who was given stipulations about having to show up for meetings and follow all these rules in order to get visitation. And he's like, well, I can't get to an AA meeting. There's nothing open. Well, we called bullshit because of Zoom. So that's our first Z word. The next one, which was cute, was, and I got this, it showed up quite a bit, was Z's. Z. And again, we kind of have to read between the lines, but catching Z's is an important part of our self-devotion, our self-care. And we need to get the proper rest. That's why I didn't feel too guilty about sleeping in until 9 this morning. So I'm always going to advocate and remind you guys to get your rest. It's so hard to think straight when our brain hasn't had a chance to recoup kind of and get rest. And I think I've heard in the past, I realize I say I think too much, but it's my fear of commitment. Something like almost like your brain is getting like new energy and getting rid of the old stuff from today, or it's depleted and sleep recharges it. Again, I'm not a scientist, but I think you get the point of what I'm trying to say. So Z's are super important for our sanity and our brain and our functioning, because if we're overtired, we're not going to make good decisions, right? Okay, the last one, this word I have a negative context with from the old days, but I found it in a room and a lady shared, I think, the best version of this Z word, and the Z word is zero. And what she shared was it's been 0 days that she's gambled in the last, I believe she said 5 months. So that's lovely. 0 gambling. I would also like to add 0 drama, 0 conflict, 0 negativity. You know, there's a lot of things we can zero out to help us live a very fulfilling, happy life. So that was my last Z word. I know there was stuff I wanted to chat with you guys about because I was so fired up this morning. I told you about talking to my buddies last night and how grateful I was. Another thing that I was super duper grateful for was when I was, well, I guess there's 2 parts to this. There's framing gratitude. So I had to drive out of state yesterday. I didn't have to, but I went to a funeral, and one of my longtime friends, and we still work in the same universe, so to speak, also went to the wake with me, and we got to spend about an hour afterwards. We went to a little Mexican restaurant not too far from the funeral home, and it was my first time ever having a non-alcoholic margarita, I think. And it was interesting because normally I'd be like, let's go out for a drink. Actually, I think I even did suggest it. I don't know, old hat, or, you know, I just didn't want to make her feel like she couldn't drink. So I was like, let's go for a drink. And when we got there, she goes, are you drinking? And I was like, actually, no. I was like, oh, but I'll have a virgin. And this speaks to how I've told you in the past, the people that are important in your life and deserve to be in your life will support your decisions. It's just that simple. It wasn't like, she wasn't like, oh, you need to drink, blah, blah, blah. But the beautiful thing of it is we wouldn't have had this impromptu hour of quality time if we didn't go to the wake. So we had some gratitude about that. And you know, we thanked Uncle Hank for giving us the opportunity to get together and kind of just, you know, sent him some thoughts. He was just such a freaking good guy. And I'm still, and my counselor explained this to me yesterday morning because I couldn't wrap my head around it. Because he was someone I didn't see every day, he was one of the deaths that I've encountered this year that I couldn't really just wrap my head around. And she said it's because of the not consistent seeing each other every day or on a regular basis, that it just doesn't feel like he's gone, because he was absent a lot of the time. You know, we lived in different places and that kind of stuff. So, kind of still working through that. He was such a good guy, but you know, we took the opportunity to express gratitude for him bringing her and I together and get some quality time. And then the other thing that I was super grateful for is, you know, you guys hear about my wonderful little niece. So you have to picture a very shy, like when it comes to being around people, she's so shy. She's like the opposite of most of us. Like, I can be outgoing and crazy with people, but I get on video and I'm shy. And it's the opposite for her. And I forgot, I'm supposed to start videoing so I could chat with you guys in person. Go on YouTube and be like the cool kids. Anyway, she's inverted that way. And she's a heck of she's a good dancer and she's beautiful. So when I was leaving the restaurant last night, she sent me a text. She's like, oh, what are you up to? I'm going to send you videos. And the 2 videos were just freaking so cool. It was her dancing to the I Hope You're Happy song that you listen to at the beginning and the end of each show. And then another song by Blue October called Home. And, she's lip syncing and doing it into a brush and singing, dancing. She's just freaking so cute. But not only was it awesome at the time, and I actually felt a little like my mother, like, because I wanted to cry in Impact because it was just so freaking awesome. It carried into today, and I did a little singing into a hairbrush as well for I Hope You're Happy. And it was, as I was reflecting, and this is part of the gratitude showing up in just such a heavy way today, was she took the time. First of all, when she met Blue October last year, like, she wouldn't even make eye contact with them. She was so nervous, and it was cute because one of the guys, like, they picked up on her right away just because of her demeanor and her shyness. It was kind of funny, but she didn't know who they were before October, but before we went to the concert and got to meet them. And now here she is knowing all the words to their songs. So it tells me a couple things, where there's some commonality, and she's enjoying their music, which made me happy. But to take the time and record and send me these videos was just so special. That's what really got me. It's like, she's thinking of me like this. I know that I've been on little roller coasters with her, and it's really unfortunate sometimes because I treat her like an adult because she's so adult-ish, and she just knows how to just be an adult. She knows a lot of adulting, so I treat her that way. And then, when she does act like a kid, or when I don't understand something, like what we went through with the party a couple weeks ago, it makes it challenging. It's like, oh yeah, she's still 15, well, now 16. So I really just have so much to be grateful for, that she's even, if I think back to what I was doing at 15, I don't remember being very engaged with my relatives, my aunts and my uncles. And, we didn't have technology back then, but still there's just different levels of engagement. I mean, I lived in the same house as a couple of my uncles, so there was that, but I just don't know that that's how I would be, or that I just need to, appreciate her. So that's what I'm saying, is I appreciate her and I'm grateful. So that's about my scoop. I'm going to try to head to bed relatively early tonight and get back on my normal schedule. I didn't get quite as much done today as I wanted to as far as tangible things, but I have to be okay with that and give myself a little breather. It's still the weekend, and I'm still trying to get things done instead of giving myself a complete break. And so I balanced it today, we'll call it. And I know these little details may not seem important, but I just want to remind you guys to balance your lives as well too, and that it's okay to stop sometimes and just chill out. Maybe at some point I'll chill out so much that I'll stop watching Shark Tank as my only TV time and find something just totally random and that shuts my brain off. I really love Shark Tank though, for all the business stuff that they share. I love knowing how Mr. Wonderful is on my future husband list, which there's about a dozen guys on there. So I get to spend quality time with him as long as I'm watching Shark Tank. Okay, I'm done. I'm random today. I will chat with you guys in the morning, and I think we'll do some step 6 stuff tomorrow, or random stuff. I'm still all over the place on that, so we'll see what happens. All right, beautiful people. I love you. Have a great night.